welcome back to my channel. So today I have a video on the Chloe Nomade range. They just released a new version called Nuit d'Egypte, so I'm going to be letting you know what this smells like and how it compares to the others in the range, let you know which my favourites are. If you're new here, then hello, welcome. I'm all about perfumes. I have hundreds of videos like this on ranges, new releases, perfume notes, perfumers, so do check out my other content. And if you're a regular viewer, do make sure you're subscribed and give the video a thumbs up. And I'll leave links down below to where you can get the Chloe Nomade perfumes all around the world. I got this from Look Fantastic, where they currently actually have it with a bit of a discount, and then I got an additional discount with my code LFTF Soki that you can use on anything on Look Fantastic. It should get you around 20-21% off. And of course, you can check out my fragrances, Empress, Aphrodite, my super concentrated Soyrex candles, all on SokiLondon.com with worldwide shipping. Cool, so the Chloe Nomade range, in my view, is probably one of the most successful ranges from Chloe. They have their signature Chloe range, and the original one, which is a very pretty rose, I think that still sells quite well. And then they had Love Story, which I think is discontinued. But then Nomade, they've released so many different versions of Nomade, and the original Nomade that I have here in a sample eau de parfum is really an oak moss perfume. Now, oak moss is a fragrance note that was very popular in the past. So it's a grassy, mossy, earthy type fragrance note, and we used to see it in a lot of classic perfumes from the 50s, 60s, and then it kind of went out of fashion. And then when this was released, for all the oak moss fans, this I think has become like their go-to perfume because it's like a modern oak moss. And along with that oak moss, you've got a lot of woody undertones, so it's kind of like walking in a woodland, that sort of very natural outdoors, quite British feeling fragrance. There's a little bit of fuchsia in here that makes it a little bit feminine, though I would say pretty much all the Nomade perfumes are very gender neutral. There's then an eau de toilette version, which is of course much lighter. Eau de toilettes tend to have about 5% fragrance oil concentration in, and this one, again, the oak moss is the main note, but it doesn't really have a lot of the woodiness in though. Instead, there's a lychee note added, which really brings a fruity freshness to the fragrance, feels more summery. They then released an Absolu version of Nomade, which is definitely, if you love the original, it's like a more intense version of that. Lots of green oak mossy notes, that woody base, and a Mirabella plum note, which adds a little bit of fruitiness to it. But Mirabella plum in general are very autumnal type fruity notes. They're not fresh like a lychee. And this one is a little bit stronger, more concentrated than the eau de parfum. They've then more recently released Nomade Naturelle, which I wasn't overly impressed with. They released a lot of Chloe perfumes that have a lot of natural ingredients in, a lot of green credentials, and I think this was the first. And it's a different perfumer for this. So this one changed a bit. The oak moss isn't really the main note, neither is the woodiness. Instead, there's more vanilla, jasmine, and then that plummy note again. Vanilla and jasmine is such a common combination in so many perfumes at the moment. So for me, this one was a little bit samey to a lot of what we've seen from other brands. But they then followed this with Chloe Nomade Jasmine Naturelle Intense, which I did really like. Here the main notes are the plum and a date note, as in the fruit. It's woody, you get the jasmine, it's not really vanilla-y, and I really love that date note and that plum note to just really create something fruity and warm and cozy. And yeah, I think this is my top recommendation from the range. But we then come to the new one, Nuit d'Egypte. Again, they've used a new perfumer for this. And this one is totally different again. So it feels a little bit lighter. It has an orange blossom note, which isn't something we've seen in any of the other Nomades. You've got a fresh ginger in the opening, and then underneath there's a hint of some ambery notes, and they've used myrrh and sort of some green oil oils from like the trees of Egypt, the plants of Egypt, but it definitely feels light. It says it's an eau de parfum, but for me this feels more towards an eau de toilette type vibe. The orange blossom makes it really fresh and light, and it doesn't really feel like an evening perfume either. It feels more like a day perfume to me. And you have these hints of those like Middle Eastern, Egyptian notes, like the myrrh, there's a hint of cinnamon, but really for me this is more orange blossomy and ambery, which isn't a combination you see a lot. Usually orange blossom is accompanied by quite fresh notes or fruity notes, whereas mixing it with amber definitely adds that sort of Middle Eastern warm feeling to it. But I would say that this is definitely more of a summer perfume. If you like Chloe Nomade, if you don't like summer perfumes that are very citrusy or fruity and very light, if you're looking for something more sophisticated, complex, that still has hints of an ambery winter perfume in, then the new Nuit d'Egypte could be perfect for you. I think this would layer really well with original Nomade or even the Jasmine Naturelle. It definitely feels classy. I feel like all the Chloe perfumes feel very classy and elegant to me, and they feel like quite thought through and unusual, particularly the Nomade ones. But the only thing I would say about this is that it does feel quite light. It feels like an eau de toilette, whereas what I loved about Jasmine Naturelle Intense was that it really has like good lasting power. So this does definitely feel like a summer perfume, and the branding is a little bit confusing because it's got blue in the branding, dark colors, it's called Night. You think maybe this is like a, you know, wintry perfume, but I guess nighttime in Egypt, like it's still not like very cold. So the branding confused me a little bit, so that's not what I was expecting from it. But it's pretty, it's not particularly unusual, and it's not my favorite in the range. And I'm kind of 50-50 whether it's Soki approved. It is a pretty perfume, it is elegant and classy. I'm not sure it's worth the money for the price. I love my value for money when it comes to perfumes, and for value for money I would always say the Absolu one or the Intense Jasmine Naturelle are the best because of the strength, but they are probably too heavy for summer. So for summer you could go for this, the eau de toilette, or maybe even the original eau de parfum for summer. So definitely an interesting release, something a little bit different. Let me know what your favorite is from all the different Nomade perfumes. Let me know in the comments. I do read all your comments, and I will put links to where you can get all the different Nomade perfumes down below in the description box all around the world where they're available. But that's it, guys. So thanks so much for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.